based on a true story, but you took it to a bigger fictional level. When did you think about, creating the story around those two freedom fighters?
It happened on levels. For a long time, I wanted to do a multi-starrer. I like the idea of just two heroes being on screen together. It can be just having a cup of coffee, both of them having a cup of coffee, or just both of them beating each other to death. Whatever is multi-starrer with that level. Just having a multi-starrer is, I like the idea so much. That is one line of thought. The second one is like when I saw Inglorious Bastards and suddenly Hitler was shot in a theater. I thought that was incredible. That really opened my eyes, and we don't need to be really shackled by historical accuracy. When you are making a film, when you are making a documentary, when you are writing a textbook, obviously you have to give the historical, it has to be historically accurate. But when you are doing a film, that is not what you're trying to do. You're not giving a history lesson. You're essentially making audience feel certain emotions. So that was a big eye-opener for me. And lastly, The Motorcycle Diaries. It's a beautiful film. And we are seeing the story of a random guy named Shay who is having a kind of travelogue, which is nice. And suddenly at the end of the film, the director tells us it's actually Che Guevara. It's also, I don't know whether it's a historically accurate film or it's a fictional story, but I thought that was great. That can be adapted to any culture. Many of the stories can be adapted. So all these three put together, at some point of time, I realized I have Komuram Bhim, I have Anushita Ramaraju. Both of them are born at the same time. Both of them left their houses at the same time. They came back after 2-3 years. We don't know what happened in that time. I have a great story here.
And did you write the story? By the way, before I get there, you write your stories with your dad. So your dad was the co-writer of the story. What is it like being at home, living with your dad and working on scripts?
It's great, right? Like, how many people in the world will get a chance to dictate their dads? How many people will get a chance to order their dads to do something? So I get the chance as a director. I order my writer to do that. No, you are wrong.
So you're telling me that you have upper hand over your dad?
Absolutely, I'm the director.
And was the story all along with the two stars in mind? Those are the two biggest stars in India. It was always, you wrote for them in mind.
Initially, my idea was to do a kind of a romantic comedy film with these two stars. Initially, that was the idea. I even wrote a small story on it, and my wife listened to the story and said, "Who's going to watch a love story from you?" She just come to terms with it, and I was taken aback. I was totally depressed that my wife didn't think that I would make a romantic movie. But anyway, I started looking for a bigger story. Then, like I said earlier, I picked up on that idea.
And is that why the movie's called RRR? Is the initials of the three of you?
Yeah, that's a funny story. Like when we announced the project, I didn't have a title for the film, but we need to refer to the project with something. So someone came up with an idea, like because it is Ramarao, one hero, Ram Charan, one hero, Rajamouli, the director. Let's just put it as #RRR to announce the film. But all the fans and audiences thought that was the title, and they started referring to it as RRR, and then we realized people are thinking this is the title, and we said, guys, this is not the title, we are just working it as we are using it as a working title, but they are already fixed in their mind that RRR is the title. So we didn't know what to do, so we ended up naming the film as RRR.
And then you came up afterward with Rise, Roar, and Revolt.
Yeah, I mean, we announced a kind of competition for the fans, like expand the RRR, and they came up with different ideas, and we took some of them and used that.
Tell us about the mix of genres, the fact that the movie seamlessly moves from dance to song to action to drama. Is that something that's seamless for you to just like no boundaries? Let's just mix all the genres.
All the Indian epic tales that I have read are similar in that sense. They flow. It flows from anger to humor to dance to song to emotions to the way of the flavors. They keep changing, but there's a grammar to them. You just can't have any scene in any which order. There is a kind of grammar which we call it the rasa. The emotion is called the rasa. Which rasa has to flow into which rasa. There is a grammar to it.
Okay.
I'm not formally educated in that, but when I started working under my father as an assistant, I had the chance to work with many big writers. They used to discuss how it should be, do's and don'ts of how to travel from one scene to the other scene. So I learned from them on how to do it. Indian stories essentially have all the ingredients in them in a story. Basically, we try to give something for someone in the whole family, whether it's a kid, whether it's a granddad, or mom, dad, sister, whatever. Everyone should like something in the movie. That's the.
But do you find yourself breaking